Today, well, there we go. All right, all right. Today we're going to be talking about what countries could Roblox be banned next, and then at 10 a.m. Let me just get clock. Where's that clock? I'm going to tell you this now. It's going to be like sales. It's not going to be close. It's going to be like sales. It's going to crash the Hytale website. I know it. I know it's going to crash the website immediately. Immediately. Anyways, let's talk about Roblox. Uh, Today we'll be talking about what countries will get banned in Roblox next. If you don't know, Roblox was in trouble a lot, especially this year and before this year, because let's talk about the countries that banned. Uh, North Korea was the first country to ban it, of course, because why not? It's North Korea. And then the UAE was supposed to be on this list, but it's not there. But it was supposed to be banned, but it doesn't map still on show. And then there we go. We'll just reopen YouTube real quick, and then head to the. Sorry about that. So what happened? All right, Roblox is going to be uh Roblox is going to be changing a lot. But first, let's talk about the countries that are in the red and orange, and USA in green, of course. All right, let's talk about the countries that are banned. Oh, hello there, hello there, T. Can't say the bad words because, but anyways, USA, of course, sure thing. Anyway, we'll talk about the countries that are getting banned in that are banned in Roblox, of course. Well, 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 of course. I'm from Pakistan. Pretty cool, of course. And now we're going to talk about the countries that are probably going to get banned in Roblox now. That are banned in Roblox for that now. Alright. First of all, North Korea was the first. It didn't like any other things that aren't theirs. So of course it's going to ban it. Of course. Then we got UAE, but the UAE wasn't on this list though. It was, but it's not on there though. 911. Uh, then we got the Oman country right here. It was supposed to be like that. Qatar, Jordan, Turkey more recently, China banned its original version, of course, and then 2025, of course, we got Schlep happen, and Qatar banned it. Qatar, all right, Kuwait banned it, of course. Hello there. Uh, Russia, and then more recently, Algeria banned it, Jordan banned it, and then finally, more recently, Russia banned it. Alright, thank you. But, anyways, let's talk about what countries could be banned in Roblox next. And first of all, I think the next country that will probably get banned off of Roblox is Iran. I think Iran is a. Yeah, they'll probably make a speech about this as well, but I don't think they would. Well, but they probably will. And yeah, Pakistan, yeah, that's a good one as well. But I think it'll be a while though. And then I think Afghanistan will ban it, of course, but they would not. USA should be banned from the world. Ukraine. Anyways, USA can't really ban it since it's a part of the where it's at. So you can't really ban it in the country, but you can shut it down though. And if USA was red, yeah, the whole thing will be in red. So yeah, we'll keep USA from long, but it might ban in the Brazil. It might be banned Brazil. The world will live in peace after it. Agree. Maybe. All right, but if they don't have the people right, all right. But I think here's my thing, and that's why we're going to use a new color. Yeah, but anyways, Brazil will be banned. And then I think a bigger twist, a coalition of few Democratic countries. Australia will ban, I believe. The UK will ban it, most likely. And then, yes, the country where my money's at, the Dutch. The Dutch will ban it. And I feel like there will be something that will happen in the EU that will probably that will probably bully Roblox. They're badly though. And I think it will be like this right here. Indonesia. Yeah, I will talk about that later, but the EU will probably respond to it. UAE will probably respond. Oh yeah, Indonesia. Indonesia. Yeah, the EU might have a temporary ban on it, of course, like with Kuwait, of course, but also to just bully it into doing what it says, like with Apple. And yeah, this will probably be like that. And then I think here's my theory on what it might be long fetch, but it will probably get banned across the Arab League. I think it will after a few countries want it down. I believe this will probably happen. Most likely. Most likely. It will be like this, right? I think it will be like Qatar. Oh yeah, Qatar is banned in it already. I'm talking like countries that are going to get rid of it, like ban it. And then I think Turkmenistan will ban it. I don't know if Kazakhstan or the Central Asian countries play Roblox, but I think they do, maybe, since they know some games and have some meat, of course. And then Georgia, I think Georgia will ban it, of course. Since it is a part of Russia, well, not part of Russia, but I knew there was some issues with this, but their leader was pro-Russian, of course, and is a bootlicker, of course, right here. And now I think it will. also get banned in Belarus. I also think it might. And then I think there will be chat moderation will be off in other countries. So here's my yellow where it's not going to get banned, but chat is going to be restricted heavily. Ukraine. They're not, I don't think Ukraine will do much since, well, they're in a war, of course. So they won't do much since they they only target themselves right now and they don't want wars to be breaking out. So I don't think we can leave that alone, but Moldova's from going restricted. Switzerland are restricted. I don't think Iceland would do anything, but Albania, maybe not Albania, but Bosnia and Herzegovina. And I think the most biggest wild card, I think out of them, will be surprisingly India. To be honest, India is not extremely old, nor it's extremely young, but it's a good chunk. So I don't think they would want to upset their people. More than, of course, this did happen, but most likely, I don't think they're going to ban it like Russia and China. At worst, it'll be like the orange, but maybe like later in the year, it will probably be like temporarily, but I don't think they'll fully ban it like with the UAE back then or. But then I think we got another country to talk. Vietnam. Vietnam's going to ban it. Vietnam and Laos, of course. They're going to ban it for real. On, well, not for real, but I think Vietnam has some ties with the internet, so yeah, I think they will probably ban it. I think so. Next up, yeah, in Indonesia. Indonesia is definitely banning. Their people are split right now. On one hand, they well, the nation is split, of course, between two classes, old and young. They are Euler ruled the more younger population, and they believe they are the real poor and don't believe in democracy, but and maybe rigged elections. Maybe they probably did, but I don't think they are democracy. But unless they're like China or India, more like that. But now I think the rest of Asia will probably not care. I think Japan will not care. Or forgot about that one, right? But all right, Japan will probably not care. Korea will not care. Bangladesh, Nepal, and Sri Lanka will probably not care at all. But I don't think I'm going to be trying to be realistic as possible as I can. I think Ethiopia will have a temporary ban on it since they are like Europe, not Europe, but more. They do have part of it, but not really. I know Eritrea might ban it. I know Cameroon will probably do a ban. South Africa, maybe. You know what? We're putting it as an orange for that. Orange right now. Nigeria will probably limit the chat. But other than that, I don't see much of Africa caring. I don't see much of Africa caring. maybe Tanzania, maybe, but I don't think they would respond much. At best, a speech, but nothing more. Western Sahara, we don't talk about that. These three don't talk about that. Chad, we don't talk about. Well, Chad's always Chad, so he's he's Chad. But South Sudan's busy, but the reason why we put red since it's part of the Arab League, so yeah. DRC is probably not going to care, and Gold's not going to care. Much of South America will probably care, but I think those countries will care. Canada, now Canada, what do we do with Canada? Are they just going to ban it? Like, and I think the case is they will just limit chat. I believe they will just limit chat. Since they don't want to look like the bad guys compared to this, but I don't think they would want to ban Roblox. Well, I think, of course, they'll do, but that's government. They just care about the people. I put care over like that, but because they probably don't, but they don't want to upset them, probably. Since I know they probably do have a decent chunk of Roblox players there. They do have with Fortnite. They do have with Minecraft. I don't see why Roblox. On the other hand, I think Mexico will ban it. I think they will. If they probably don't discover it now, well, back then, they'll probably discover it now and say, oh, that's a bad game. We're going to ban it. Cuba's going to ban it since they'll probably be like, anti American propaganda. No, that is, I do not think that will be like that, but it will probably be like, well, keep this kid safe from America and Roblox. But, anyways, here is my map of the which countries will ban Roblox in the future. I won't say 2026, but more like 2026 to 2020, at least early 2026 to late 2028. If Roblox doesn't get banned, of course, and lose the lawsuits. If they lose the lawsuits, what's wrong, Red Gang? What's wrong, Red Gang? You doing all right? Well, but anyways, here is the map of what I think would happen. That's what I could believe. But if there's any countries that you think you could fit, well, Forgotten Orange right here. If there's any other countries that I believe could be in this list, please tell me, and I'll recommend it. Because other than that, I don't think any other countries. Why? And also, why did I put Ukraine as red like Russia? It's also because I think they would care about this right now because, of course, Russia is advancing, kind of, in a way, but I don't think they would care much just because of the war, of course. There's, and why do you think, and Putin didn't ban it, it was the Russian officials who thought it would be too unsafe, so, yeah, not Putin's fault, but just saying, just saying. And I think maybe Kazakhstan and the other countries in Central Asia will follow, but it's only time to tell. And I think Azerbaijan will temporarily ban it, of course. So let's uh there will be a few countries that will ban its chat. N- Now I think Tanzania will probably ban, well, not ban it, but ban its chat. But if there's any other countries that they could be in, please let me know. I would like to know who else. Maybe Argentina, but I think they would probably want to make Britain look bad more. So since it's already a chaotic mess here, if you think US is bad, it's gonna be way worse in UK. So it's smaller, less people, worse economy, worse food. Yes, no hate to British, no hate to Britain. There are some good things about it, but other than that, and I still hate your muffins. I still hate your English muffins. I despise those muffins. I hate those muffins. I hate them. But anyways, what other countries that I think will get banned? And here's my thought on Latin America. I think Nicaragua can ban it, of course. Panama will probably disable the chat for now, but it could change over time. Belize could disable it, and then, of course, there was few countries that I believe could ban it. One of them is Venezuela. I believe Venezuela will ban it for the sake of child safety. They believe, and to also counter the enemy, of course. Yeah, of course, I think it will, and say that it was America's fault that this game was made. They will probably do that. But another country I believe could ban it as well is Bolivia. Bolivia, it's a landlocked nation. It probably doesn't care much for Roblox, but I think it will have the likely outcome compared to other countries that'll ban it. Maybe like Orange, where it temporary bans it. Paraguay will probably temper, and then maybe Colombia does as well. There's going to be probably a lot of countries that are probably going to try and ban Roblox. Many succeed, some don't. We'll see. And if I'm wrong about any of these countries, then I'll make an update pretty soon, maybe. Anyways, I think Haiti is probably going to ban it, maybe. I don't think they care since they got civil unrest, but we'll probably put red for now. Alright. It's most likely wrong compared to the others. But I feel like it will do get banned, of course. Compared to other countries like Algeria, me, and I think also now I believe Cambodia will ban, not ban, but disable, disable chat, of course. So here's my map of what countries that I think will ban. First of all, we got the home nation, of course. We got the home nation, of course, that's going to be green. The yellow, of course, is going to be disabled chat. That's a yellow. Alright, next up. But let me just darken the yellow for people to see better. Next up is the oranges temporarily banned. Either uh, temporarily banned or was banned. You will just put it like this, and then dark red we got banned completely. Yeah, those are the four big ones, probably. That's most likely going to happen, I believe. Home Nation will be honestly this, but honestly, it's going to probably get pretty sued. They're probably going to lose a lot of money as well. I think Roblox will lose a lot, especially with those lawsuits if they combine, like Law by Mike said. But anyways, do I support Roblox? Absolutely not. I do not. I like Roblox, of course. And I was about to get into it, but David's speech ruined me, of course. That speech. But anyways, what countries do you think will get banned next? Alright, let me get French Guiana. Alright, I believe maybe Kazakhstan might temporarily ban. I think Kazakhstan maybe will temporarily ban if they sign with Russia more. But for now, I don't think they will. And Armenia just be like, I'm surrounded. I'm surrounded. But can you guys tell me what your predictions for which country will ban it the most? To me, I think the UK will be banning it, the Dutch will, and the Australians are most likely out of the democratic countries to ban it. Then I think the EU would temporarily ban it or modify it. I think like this, modifying to sit to make it suit the EU better. And they're not the bad guys, I don't think. To modify it to be better for them. So yeah, here's the map. I'm gonna turn off this. Here you go. Here is the map. Now, what do you guys think? Of course, no one's there, but I believe this could become the future of Roblox. I believe between 2026, early 2026, to 2028. That's why I believe Roblox's future. And there's probably some reasons why some other countries that don't ban it. They're busy with something else. They have some things to do. They don't have a time with the game. But those are probably my predictions. Yeah, because I think maybe Ecuador or Peru could. Maybe Chile, maybe Uruguay. Maybe Botswana, but other than that, I don't see many countries trying to ban. Well, many countries will probably ban, but more like this. This is what I think would happen. And we have 15 minutes left until Hytale comes. So, yeah, let's 15 minutes exactly. When will he make episode 90? After a while, I would love to see episode 90. Shout out to him. He's a great guy. Yeah, he's just waiting for the episode of to roll out, of course. But in case you guys will comment on where's the Roblox thing, and then I'll just pull it up like right here. Use yeah, I already watched that video, of course, but of public domain here. And I wonder what could happen next. What could happen next? But before that, I'm gonna get me some water because before the water break, A's is not gonna make it a video Saturday. Since maybe he will, but it's not gonna be Wix, of course. So no Wix stream. But like I said, with this, we're still going to do watch Hytale pre-orders. We're going to watch the Hytale pre-orders, of course, since and watch it echo. All right, that was kind of anticlimactic, but yeah. All right, we'll also be talking about Julian's there, and if you don't know what Julian's is, it's a it's a game that it's a game maker, of course. It's like making your own game off of the app, but a lot better, a lot better. And I have high hopes it will be better and could become replaced for Roblox in case something bad. 11 minutes left until it happens. But anyways, I'll be back. I'm back.
Hey, Roblox.
And I wonder could ban, or in my opinion, of what country could ban Roblox next. I feel like a big feeling it will be the UK. I have the biggest feeling it will be the UK. Biggest feeling is the UK. But strongest Avengers, it's Loki, obviously. He holds the timeline better, and they could just erase those two. But yep. Another big media merger is coming.
Baker. Today I'm going to show you a quick preview of a chart that I've been working on about the US TV and film industry because some big changes are coming soon. You see, last week it was announced that Netflix is buying Warner Bros., but then Paramount stepped in and initiated a
We're gonna make it quick since we don't have 8 minutes left.
Soon it's continuing to be consolidated into the hands of just a very few companies, something that wasn't the case several decades ago. I'm planning to go through this chart in much more detail, probably in January, but for now I thought I'd show you the basics. Back during the golden age of Hollywood, basically the 1930s and 40s, there were 8 major film studios, many of which had been created out of mergers between earlier companies that had formed during the silent movies era. They were Paramount, Universal, 20th Century
Yep.
Fox, Warner Brothers, RKO, United Artists, MGM, and Columbia. Take note that Disney was not considered a major film studio during this classical period, as it was originally just an animation studio. It wasn't until the 1950s that Disney started to make live-action films as well. You see, it was during the 1950s that old Hollywood started to decline, and that was, of course, due to the rise of television. The 3 big networks, NBC, CBS, and ABC, had all started out as radio stations, but eventually transitioned to broadcast television during the 1950s. Take note that ABC was actually, once upon a time, a part of NBC. You see, originally, NBC had 2 radio networks, NBC Red and NBC Blue, but these were eventually forced to split when concerns were raised over NBC becoming a monopoly. Anyhow, during the next 3 decades, the 60s, 70s, and 80s, TV remained primarily a broadcast medium, meaning that signals were sent out over the air and picked up in each home by an antenna. Of course, people still went to movie theaters as well, and therefore studios continued to make films. However, by the late 60s, all of the original Hollywood directors were gone, and it was therefore a new generation of directors making films. Thus, the US film industry during the 70s and 80s is often referred to as the New Hollywood or the Hollywood Renaissance. Take note that most of the major studios were still around during this period, along with some new ones, the only exception being RKO, which ceased operations in the late 50s. Okay, near the end of the broadcast TV/New Hollywood period, the US got a 4th major TV network, Fox. This came about when Rupert Murdoch's News Corporation bought the film studio 20th Century Fox. But then came the 1990s, which is when cable TV really took off, and all sorts of new channels were launched. There were cable channels before this, such as HBO, which launched in 1972, and CNN, which launched in 1980, but it wasn't until the 90s that the US reached the point where the vast majority of homes had cable. The decade of the 90s was also when media consolidation started to occur, with the first really big merger being the one between Warner Brothers and Time Inc., which owned HBO. This created a new conglomerate called Time Warner, which then proceeded to buy Ted Turner's company, which owned not only CNN, but also a vast film library. You see, way back in the 1950s, Warner Brothers had sold their pre-1956 collection, and it ended up in the hands of United Artists, which also ended up inheriting most of RKO's library. But United Artists was then bought by MGM, which was then bought by Ted Turner. Ted Turner didn't end up keeping MGM, but he did keep their pre-1986 library, which, as we just saw, also included the libraries inherited from United Artists, RKO, and Warner Brothers. Thus, in a strange twist of fate, when Warner Brothers acquired Turner, one of the things they ended up getting was their very own pre-1958 library. Now, I'll come back to Time Warner in a bit, but first, let me point out some of the other big mergers, in particular the ones involving the three big TV networks. First, in 1996, Disney bought ABC, which came with a controlling stake in ESPN. It later went on to buy Pixar, Marvel, the Star Wars franchise, and 20th Century Fox, although take note that it did not buy the Fox TV channels. Second, in 2000, CBS merged with Paramount Pictures, although they later broke up for a while before getting back together in 2019. And then finally, in 2004, NBC bought Universal Pictures, meaning that each of the three big TV networks is now combined with a major film studio. ABC with Disney, CBS with Paramount, and NBC with Universal. Now, around the year 2015, most people started transitioning away from cable TV and towards using streaming services instead. For this reason, each of the big conglomerates now has their very own streaming service. Now, around the year 2015, which ended up buying MGM and a few others, which brings me back to Time Warner. First off, Time left in 2014, resulting in Warner Media. Then in 2022, Warner Media merged with Discovery to form Warner Brothers Discovery. But then, earlier this year, the new company announced that it wanted to split up again and basically put each part up for sale. So, for the last several weeks, there has been an intense bidding war with NBC Universal, Paramount, and Netflix all trying to take over Warner Brothers. Currently, it looks like it's down to either Netflix or Paramount. Netflix wants to buy the studio and streaming assets only. In other words, not CNN or the Discovery Channel, whereas Paramount wants the whole thing. If Netflix were to emerge the winner, their service would suddenly have a lot more high-quality content, including major franchises like DC Comics, Lord of the Rings, Looney Tunes, Harry Potter, and Game of Thrones. But there are concerns about this. First of all, Netflix is already the #1 streaming service, so if they managed to get Warner Brothers, they'd be practically unbeatable. Second, they're into streaming, not making movies for theaters. So there's a concern that if they take over, going to the movies might become a thing of the past. Now, if Paramount were to emerge the winner, that would also shake up the entertainment world quite a bit. You see, currently, of the three big conglomerates, Disney is by far the most dominant. But if Paramount were to gain Warner Brothers, it would suddenly be in a position to rival the empire of the mouse. So, what do you think will happen? And is there anything missing from the chart that you'd like to see added? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching.
Alright. Now we got 3 minutes left. Nope, just alright, 2 minutes left. Free orders are now. Well, not now, but 2 minutes left. Come on, 2 minutes. You can do this. Alright. Oh, early access available to purchase. Yeah, this is not the price. That's Brazil. We did. Hytale really. Nope, Hytale did not announce it, but soon, 1 minute. And we're not doing Fortnite. I went, we're not running out for it, but just 1 minute left. Free. And the free and the one. I am inevitable. I am inevitable. Yeah, and well, like CG Winston, aw man, here we go again. And and it didn't see, but viewers are now. Like the Quebec said, I'm probably not going to buy it real quick since I don't have a PC. I do not have a PC, so I'll just wait until the console version comes out. Maybe PS5, maybe, maybe. But anyways, now we're going to talk about something. Now it's not from. You may not hear about it, so I put that thing for last. But in case you want to listen, you can go ahead. If you don't want to listen, then all right. Anyways, if you do not know what this game is, this is Julian's Editor. It's not called. This is not called. It's not called Julian's Editor anymore. It's called Build. But for now, let's call it Julian's Editor since if we look up Build It, of course. It's not much is going to say about it. Or if you try looking up, you're not going to get the same results. Like that. But first of all, let's talk about Build It, of course. The reason why I made this stream, well, second reason I made the stream. The first one was obviously Roblox, but second reason why Build It. Build It is, or Julian's Errand shortened, is also there. It did have a lot of trouble, of course. Recently, well, small, of course, but small, but big, big for Julian's size. Small for everyone's size, but big for everyone. Well, big for Julian's, of course. Every time. Uh, anyways, joins. Uh, if you didn't know, or if you were Julian's error and you didn't know, Julian changed his name to Builder, of course. Builder is not a bad name, of course, but Star. And I think I might like the name, but it's a fine name. But if you compare Julian's error to what it is, he has an easy and recognizable name, but in fact, even Google knows it better. If I look up builder, or let's images, of course. There is it is on top right here, just now it's recognizable. Now it's but it can also be recognized as this, of course, the horse. There's building construction, the horse. Again, I think it was kind of. I do wonder why they do that, but Julie did sound. But I'm fine with building. The name's fine. It's not the worst part. But, but we'll start off small and then work up. And also, Julian's editor has kind of failed. Yeah, that was an alarm, backup alarm. Not a backup alarm, but an accidental press alarm. Or how does this work? Yeah, my edits, but let's try it again, but real quick. Yeah, I'm shaking the film real quick because yeah, that's pretty cool. But anyways, build that has been going off like wildfire. Yes, if you don't know, Builder was becoming a chaotic mess for a long time. It was a chaotic. Oh, not for a long time, but for a while. It was silent for a long time until we got Builder. And also, I understand why Julian did this because birds. But anyways, I understand why Bill had to do that. Jul- uh, understand why Bill needed to do that because you need managing two games at the same time is pretty hard, and a lot of people aren't here because free.x right here, the 4.x is in China. Yeah, Builder was part of China, and also the game on. So we'll talk about it. We don't want to go too fast. All right, don't go too. So they want to take that. All right, they want to get or uh build up is game. Yeah, so they want to migrate everyone's accounts to right here. But here's the problem. Here's the biggest problem. Builder did not show any way you could do it. They didn't show any video, any way to do it. They didn't show on the channels. They didn't show it on any way, which even confused people, especially on Discord. Yeah, they and these ornaments they really go on YouTube, and most of their platforms is probably on TikTok. But that is pretty much that's it. But anyways, alright. Next up, next up, we're going to talk about why the biggest issue of mine right now is the games. How am I supposed to make games? Of course, yeah, because here I don't didn't hear anyone else with this, and people are still making games, but this might be a me issue, but anyways, they made an issue with there's just all right where it just gives me a blue screen when I press on the level, not the game, of course, but the level. When I press on a level so I can edit, it gives me a blue screen. And also, I've been trying for months to get this fixed. I want to try and get it fixed. At best, I tried to make stuff. I did manage to get it successfully a few times, and then bam, it's gone. It's done. It's just somehow back here. How? But luckily, there was good news, though. Rocket contacted me, and luckily, we did talk good, but when he had wanted a video, I was like, I can't do that. How am I supposed to do that? Because honestly, you saw how it ends. You can see how it ends. It ends badly. It ends awfully. Yeah, I don't know how, but it just ends very terribly. I tried many times. I showed him pictures. I tried to tell him, but video, you gotta be a video until, but I can't get you a video. I can't. I can't. Which feels like a punch in the teeth. Yeah, wish there was another successor though. Wish there was another successor. Yeah, because right now the only games that you can make are probably going to be Roblox. There are some others, but there's that AI, but AI is bad. And now, but also I will talk good though as well. There is some good. First of all, the players that have finally more connected. We got Chinese servers now. Like probably not gonna make America happy, but I like the anyways. Uh it won't make people mad, but no. I do want to try and get it fixed. I want to help them as much as I can. The bugs. Yeah, back in Julian it was so easy, but I wondered why it did that happen. It was supposed to be compatible for good chunk. And now this also happened at a bad time as well. High, well, at least for them. But this game will finally come out though. The one I'm looking at on the right. But Hytale will finally come out. But at Julian's cost. Since now Julian is now not is a shell of its former self. It doesn't even give you the channel until right here. Peak low budget game platform. And I used it was couldn't have been good. But they are very well, not unresponsive, but inactive. It didn't show us how we could get to move the accounts to here to here. There are a few that are getting it, but one, one. Yeah, I feel like they could just move Bill to Julian's error, or at least show us how. They could have shown us how, but no, they didn't. And I'm pretty much upset at that. This feels like a pain. It feels like a punch in the teeth, and I don't know how to do it. And also the game language, I don't know how to do. And also, I didn't see in the pros and cons of Julian's ever tab. Uh, come on. Let me try do this. Close. Let's quickly get back here. And now, I believe that should be all today. In conclusion, I talked about Roblox and how it's going to be banned in more countries. Try checking Hytale. And then, of course, we talk about Bill and how it's probably going to be, should be a nerf version. It should at least have a version that can be stable. Anyways, that'll be it, everyone. Hope you have a great